experts. If I record it, Rachel, it'll go to my, let me see. Let me see if I can record to the cloud. Oh, no, it's recording. All right, here we go. We figured it out. Good afternoon, good morning to everybody. Welcome to Fierce Friday. My name is Jody Parker, and I am one of the Million Mom Movement Council members. Our council chair, Stephanie Dawn, is not here today, and in her words, I'm her second. So I get to lead the call today, which is always fun. I always enjoy this. Welcome. I'm so happy to see everybody here today. We have a whole bunch going on today, and I'm really excited about this call. I think this is going to be very impactful for all of us. So let me start with, if this is your first time to a Fierce Friday call, can you just throw one up in the chat for me so I can see kind of where we're at, who's new, who's not. So I'll give that a second. Angie and Anna and Brandon and David, welcome to the call. So let me give you a little background. The Million Mom Movement was started by Purium co-founder Amy Benner. And her idea was that moms are usually the ones doing the shopping, and they're usually the ones feeding the family. Not always, so not to insult the guys, because my husband cooks a lot for us too. But she realized that moms need support, and she wanted to create 1,000 moms in 100 cities to teach 10 families how to eat healthier. And that was about 6 years ago. And in those years, it has morphed into to teach 10 families how to live healthier. So not just what you're eating, but your lifestyle choices as a bigger umbrella, while simultaneously creating economic empowerment. So what does that mean? The economic empowerment comes by being a brand partner with Purium Superfoods. If you are not a brand partner, can you throw a 2 up in the chat, just so I know if we have people here who are not Purium brand partners, so that if I need to speak to you, I know I need to do that. I don't see any 2s showing up. So it looks like we're all Purium brand partners. So that is where the economic empowerment comes from, because let's be real, everybody can benefit nutritionally from superfoods. And so that is how Purium and the Million Mom Movement are married. We are also the activism arm of Purium. We are the mamas on a mission. And mom, and Million Mom Movement, mom can also stand for movement of many. So we want to make sure that everybody understands that if you are a caregiver, say I know a kindergarten teacher who's very involved but doesn't have her own kids, or an aunt or a grandma or a daddy or an uncle, or whatever you are, if you are passionate about helping make the world a better place, if you're passionate about nutrition and the environment and all of these things that are changing in the world right now, then we welcome you into the movement, and we ask you please to bring people to us so we can grow the movement, because it is grassroots movements that really do change the world. The Fierce Friday call started as a call to action because glyphosate was on the mind of Stephanie Dawn, who is our council chair, because her son Zephyr suffered from glyphosate poisoning. And when we realized that the #1 food that was tested that had the highest parts per million of any food out there of glyphosate was Cheerios, we were like, we have to do something, because Cheerios is a food that is often given to toddlers. It's one of the first finger foods, and people don't realize that it is doing all kinds of really bad stuff to our bodies. And rather than me explaining all that, I am going to toss that over to Councilmember Naiva Flore, and she's going to talk a little bit more about what glyphosate is and our petition behind getting it out of our foods. So Naiva, take it from here.
Hey, thank you so much, Jody. Aloha, everyone. So like she said, my name is Naiva Flore. I've been a part of this movement and this mission for 6 years now. And glyphosate is a huge issue. And I talk about a lot of the time what the issues are here in Hawaii, because many of you may not know that Hawaii is actually ground zero for making seed crops for the GMOs that they grow across the country. So I'm just curious how many of you guys know this. If you already knew this, drop me a 1. If you had no idea that Tropical Paradise is where we make seed crops for GMOs, drop a 2 in the comments. I'd love to know who is aware of this, who isn't aware of this. So we have some people that don't know this is an issue in Hawaii. So the reason why is because in Hawaii, you can literally, we don't have seasons here. So you can grow year round. So in Nebraska or somewhere where they usually grow corn, they can only create one seed crop per year. So it would take actually 7 years to wipe out a genetic of a seed and create a hybrid GMO seed. And in Hawaii, because we don't have the seasons like we do everywhere else in the country, we're actually able to have 4 seed crops in 1 year, you guys. That means in less than 2 years, they can completely wipe out a gene of a seed and create a hybrid GMO seed that they can then plant across the country. And this is really alarming because here in Hawaii, here's my little guy popping in. Here in Hawaii, they spray a lot of poisons. It leaches into our water, into our soil. It goes back up into the air and rains back down even on our organic farms. And so it's something that is really alarming to us. The neighborhood where I live on is GMO free. We have lots of farms around here. But because there's so many GMO farms on the west side of the island, we can't be sure that it's not evaporating into the air and then raining down on this other side of the island. And so there's also an issue because it's found in 75% of our food and our ingredients that are within the food. And so as moms, it's our job to know what it is that we're getting for our children, what it is that we're purchasing for our families, and to be educated around this. And it was really alarming for me when I recently saw that Cheerios has the highest parts per billion, like Jody was just mentioning. And it's not just Cheerios, you guys, it's Kellogg's, it's so many different brands out there that kids see as something yummy to eat, and parents that don't know just don't know. I used to be that mom 10 years ago. I was the one buying, you know, cornflakes and Cheerios because I didn't know better. I didn't realize the effects that this had on our health. I didn't realize that this poison chemical was within the ingredients of the food I was feeding my family. And this is really alarming because glyphosate actually deteriorates your gut, you guys. It's an herbicide. And what this herbicide does is it's found in Roundup, and it's created to actually kill living organisms on the corn or the soy or the oats or whatever grains they might be spraying it on. And so if you think about it, they spray it on those foods and it never really leaves the food. It actually absorbs into that plant. And then you know, companies put it into food. So they'll use the oat or the wheat and create Cheerios and other foods out of it. And then we eat that. So when we eat that, that chemical is actually still very much alive and active, and it goes into our gut and it still continues to do its job of killing living organisms, which means that it's killing our microvilli, which is our healthy gut bacteria and everything like that. And so it's really important that we try to eliminate the foods that have glyphosate in them. First of all, steer away from GMOs if possible. Buy the organic version if you can, but also to implement some of the things that Purium has come out with in the Epigenius Kids and the Biomedic, and ways that you can actually heal your gut and remove this toxic chemical from your gut to hopefully avoid other health conditions, other diseases that may arise from having a toxic gut. So it's really important, and this is something that is something that I talk about all the time as somebody that lives in Hawaii, as a passionate mom. And so back in January, we actually started a letter writing campaign where we were suggesting that everybody write a letter to General Mills so that way we could ask them to remove this toxic ingredient from their cereals. And we had a lot of kind of stock letters that got back to us. They weren't very genuine. It didn't seem like a person with a heart was actually reading them and responding. And so we decided to move into another direction with a petition writing campaign. First of all, as moms, we realize we don't all have time to go and write emails and check to see if they responded. And clicking a button on a petition and being able to just sign your name is empowering for all and super simple. And the more signatures we can get, the quicker we can send it back to General Mills and ask them and let them know that as moms, we are requesting that they remove all ingredients that remove glyphosate from their foods, especially the ones that our children love most. So thank you so much for this time. And I'll go ahead and grab that petition link and drop it in the comments for you guys.
It looks like Tass just put it up in there. And Tass,
Okay.
I'm going to toss it over to you. If you could tell everybody briefly about joining the Million Mom Movement and the scholarship, and then we're going to move on to our big topic of the day and our hot topic of the day. So Tass, take it over.
Well, thank you, Naeva. Thank you, Joni. Thank you so much for everyone being on the call today. So I wanted to refer to you to the pledge. Through the Million Mom Movement, we have a wonderful pledge where you can sign and become part of that movement. I pledge to defend the health of my family and of myself. I pledge to reject GMOs, artificial ingredients, trans fats, and over-processed foods. I pledge to educate myself, read labels, and lead by example. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health of our future generation. I am committed to sharing this mission until we are 1,000,000 mom strong, or 1,000,000 strong. When you join the pledge, what can you do? Well, you can be on social media. Be an active part of sharing. How are you sharing this movement? You can hashtag Million Mom Movement in your post. And we have Naeva, who just spoke, who is our social media and content and media expert. And she helps us get the word out. So we need you. We need the strength of the impact. And we want to help you launch economic empowerment. We want to help you launch your own organic superfood home-based business. This is a really important part of the pledge, to be the example within your home and make it part of your lifestyle. Then host Million Mom Movement events. We have really great formats, videos, and everything that you would need to share. And then join. Join and lead in the movement. Lead with an activism campaign. Share with us ideas that you might have. And we also have a scholarship. So I will lead into this scholarship. We are proud of the generosity of our founders. We have over 68 full recipients who have been awarded these wonderful scholarships. $2,500 in superfoods over the course of 6 months to 4 families in economic need. If you're a scholarship recipient, drop me a 1 in the chat. I would love to see who you are. I love how incredibly generous we've been, and we really want to get the mission out, especially in these difficult economic times. So we have the scholarship on our website. Go to millionmommovement.info and look at the tab and sign our pledge. Thank you so much. Back to you, Jody.
Thanks, Tass. Okay, guys, so here we go. So part of being an activist means being able to pivot as new information comes through and as things change. And as we all know, 2020 has something new every 5 minutes. And so every week we do a hot topic and we talk about what's going on in the news and how it applies to our lives, our families, our children. And there were too many hot topics this week. And so I was on the phone with Rebecca, who is another one of our council members, and she was supposed to do this today, and I got a text from her 5 minutes before going, oh my gosh, I had a sudden schedule change, can you take it? So I'm going to do it, but if I fumble it a little bit, I know it all, but that you've seen me typing perhaps in the background here, I've been bringing everything up so I can screen share it with you. And she and I decided we were going to do it, and we didn't start the fire format. Because there's a lot happening in the world and it's really easy to miss because, you know, there's so much controversy around masks versus no masks or Black Lives Matters or the presidential race. And so sometimes other things get missed because of that. So I am going to share my screen with you and I'm going to just show you some of the headlines from around the world so that you get an idea what is happening in the world right now. So, screen share, here we are. So, Story number one, the CDC is now telling states that they need to be ready to distribute the COVID vaccine by November 1st. It is not finished. It is not out of trials yet. But they are preparing ahead of time to get this out there, to find more information out about the Million Mom movement and how we feel about vaccines and mandatory vaccines. There is a blog post up on millionmommovement.info. Just briefly, we believe that medicine is not one size fits all, and where there is risk, there must be choice, and that optimizing immune function is always in our best interest, which is actually going to be the topic after I get through these headlines. So here's another one. Apparently, there's a lot of issues with rent and being people getting kicked out of their houses during the pandemic, and there was problems figuring out how to solve that. And so the president used an old law from 1944 that made it so that the health department can keep people safe by keeping them in their homes. So now the CDC is your new landlord. This is clearly an angled link. It's the one that came up the quickest when I was quickly going through everything, but you can look further into that and how they're making that work. And I do know that back payments will be due in January of 2021. Let's see, failed to open page. So this one. So this is really interesting. There's a lawsuit targeting the Bank of America, the Credit Suisse, and the Bayer board members and executives over the disastrous Monsanto acquisition. And if you don't know, Monsanto is the maker of Roundup, i.e. glyphosate. They are not our favorite person here at the Million Mom movement, and we feel like they should be held responsible for poisoning our food supply. Was that too harsh? I don't think that was too harsh. And people are going after them because Bayer bought Monsanto out. Was it a year ago, year and a half? I don't remember the exact date, but it is causing their stocks to tank. So that's something that you can look further into. Here's some good news. T-cell immunity underestimated in predictions for COVID-19 herd immunity. So what we usually look at is antibodies, and an antibody is specifically made by your body to help fight off certain illnesses. But it is, we now know, not necessarily the key ingredient of the immune system that defines immunity. And they are finding with COVID, because because COVID-19 is a coronavirus is the common cold, and there's lots of different strains of them: SARS, MERS, SARS-CoV-2, which is COVID-19. And your body makes T cells which help to fight these off. And so they're finding that if you've had any form of a coronavirus in the last 5 years, you have those T cells in your body, and those help to fight off COVID-19, which is why they think so many people are asymptomatic. It's because their body can fight it off before they fully get the disease. So you can be exposed to it without actually fully getting the illness. And that's why some people seem to have no problem with it, is because they have these T cells. This was just random. This is in my area, and we're going to bring this up a little bit later in the call when we open it up to people. But we're seeing a further and further division in the country over the presidential election, and people are starting to fight over it. And I just brought this up because it's where I live, because I want to bring it up after we get through the immune stuff we're going to do next. But a 12-year-old was assaulted by a woman because he had a Trump sign in his yard. And Boulder is very, very liberal and very anti-Trump. So that might help you to know that. And then this is something we wanted to bring up. So this week, the CDC came out and they redefined the COVID numbers. And this isn't actually all that surprising. The same thing happened in Italy. They found that of all the COVID cases where people died, that only 6% of them died with just a COVID diagnosis, that the other 94% had an average of 2.6 other comorbidities. And what a comorbidity is something that also would kill you. And they found that in the 6% of people who just had a COVID diagnosis, 80% of them were of advanced age. So it was happening in nursing homes, places like that. And so I did this as the last one to lead into our call. And I'm going to stop this share, or to lead into what we're going to talk about today. So if you read the invitation, it was we're going to talk about how to boost your immunity. And I brought these CDC numbers up because here's the deal. We clearly can't control advanced age. There's nothing we can do about that. We just have to protect those who are of advanced age. And there's not a lot we can do about the people who are prone to it for whatever reason. For the science geeks out there, seems to be related to a receptor in the lungs called the ACE2 receptor, and some people have more than others, and people who have more tend to get sicker, and that's a genetic thing, and there isn't anything that we can do about that. But a lot of these comorbidities that you're seeing are things that we can do something about. And here at the Million Mom Movement, we believe in empowerment. We believe in giving you tools so that you can move out of fear. And so we also believe that moms and caregivers right now are under a tremendous amount of stress, and we tend to take care of everybody around us instead of taking care of ourselves. And there's the old idea of you have to put your oxygen mask on yourself first before you can take care of the people around you. So I wanted to talk about what can we do lifestyle-wise to deal with these comorbidities that are affected by lifestyle. What are the things that we can do, that we have control over, that we have empowerment over, and that we can help others in our lives who may be dealing with those comorbidities to help them take more power in their lives. And so I'm going to use the Purium Immunity Pack to talk you through that. And I'm going to talk to you about the nutrition and how to boost that and why it helps. And then from there, we're going to kind of morph it, and we're going to open it up. And normally when they throw me on here to do product calls, everybody asks me product questions. But in talking with the council this week, we realized that a bigger stress on the caregivers right now is this increasing division that we're seeing it. I know that people are seeing it in their Purium teams, they're seeing it in their families, they're seeing it with their neighbors. We want to open the forum up to talk about play date on my way here, and there was a mother there whose sister just blocked her out of clear blue, like will not speak to her, and she's really hurt. To be getting better sleep, and that is going to help with that stress. And then we'll morph it into, let's talk about dealing with that stress that doesn't have to do with nutrition. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you can look at the products instead of at me. Let me find I've got too many things open. Okay, here we go. So the Optimal Immune Support Pack with Power Shake and Original Love. This is the pack that if one of your customers buys this pack, they can get the business for free with this pack, which is why I decided to focus on this, because from a business perspective right now with back to school and schools opening and shutting down and the chaos around that, being able to empower people right now with this is a really big deal, and it could be really good for business because they can share this, new people can share this with their new people, and then everybody's empowered, and we like empowerment. I'm going to use that word way too much. Does everybody take a drink of their Power Shake every time Jody says empowerment? So I'm going to go over, I don't know if you can see the tabs across my screen, but I brought the nutrition labels up for some of them. But I'm going to talk about the whole pack first, Biomedic. Biomedic, I didn't bring the nutrition tab up, but I'm just going to tell you, for those of you who don't fully understand it, Biomedic is the product that detoxes glyphosate out of your gut and out of your body. Glyphosate, as Naeva mentioned earlier, acts like an antibiotic on your gut. And most of us know that now that 70% of our immune function is in those probiotics in our gut. We need them in order to optimize immune function. And so Biomedic is absolutely key in helping keep that gut healthy. It helps to heal the microvilli that are damaged by the glyphosate. And another really positive part of this is it lowers inflammation by 75%. And that's based on a 6-week study. So if you're taking it daily for 6 weeks, it will lower your inflammation by 75%. And that's measured by C-reactive protein for the geeks in the group like me. Inflammation is the underlying cause of all chronic disease. It is related to everything. No matter what is happening, if you can get your inflammation down, your body is better able to deal with whatever illness you may be exposed to. So Biomedic is a big deal. Biomedic also is going to detox other toxins that you're exposed to. We market it as glyphosate, but it's going to take care of a lot of other toxins as well. And it's always better to have more toxins going out of your body than coming in. So that's Biomedic. Super Amino 23. That is straight free amino acids. Amino acids are what proteins are made out of amino acids. And so whether you need a strong cell wall or you need strong neurological function, all of those things, that's all made up by proteins in your body. And so by taking those straight proteins that go straight from your stomach straight into the bloodstream, you're doing something that most people don't realize is going to help your immune system. Not just is it building those proteins, but you're putting no pressure on your liver or your kidneys. Your liver and your kidneys are what detoxify you, and that includes viruses and bacteria and yeast and heavy metals and even extra hormones. And so the less stress that you can put on your liver and kidneys, the better they're going to function. And when we eat meat, about 30% roughly of hamburger is we can actually use the amino acids, and the rest of it gets broken down to ammonia, and then the ammonia has to be detoxed by your liver and your kidneys, and it puts extra stress on them. So that is why this is really cool for immune function and why you wouldn't think of it that way. White American ginseng. White American ginseng, that's all that's in it. It's why I didn't bring up the label. It's really, really good for stress. It's an adaptogen. It helps your body adapt to stress. And we all know that your immune system suffers when it's under stress. And so that is why the White American ginseng is in there. VirusSure, I think that's pretty obvious. It helps you fight viruses. And so I'm not going to go too deep into that because I think that's pretty self-explanatory. At a later call, we can go into the ingredients, but just know that it's going to help your body fight viruses. C from nature. Again, it's just vitamin C, but it's food-based vitamin C, and that is entirely different than ascorbic acid, and so many people don't realize that. So vitamin C is a complex. You have ascorbic acid. You also have all your bioflavonoids. You also have all the things that help you absorb the vitamin C into your body. So if you're taking straight ascorbic acid, there's a couple of things that is a problem with that. You don't have all the cofactors, so you don't absorb it as well. Most ascorbic acid on the market is made from GMO corn, so now you're getting genetically modified ingredients and glyphosate residue, and you need to take far more of it to get the same effects as you do from food. And so I remember when I was dealing with a virus, I was taking something like 8,000 to 10,000 milligrams of buffered ascorbic acid. They call it ester C. And I had just joined Purium, and my natural doc was testing me. He was using electrodermal screening to test me. It's a type of biofeedback. And I went from needing 8,000 to 10,000 of the ascorbic acid to needing 800 to 1,000 milligrams of the C from nature. That's what a huge reduction getting it from food makes. The other thing is part of the vitamin C complex is a bioflavonoid called quercetin, which we also find in the apothecary. So apothecary, why is this so cool? Well, because it has more natural melatonin in it than any other food on the planet. Proper melatonin levels have been shown to decrease your risk from having severe issues with COVID-19. It also helps you sleep. It also is food. So if you take a melatonin supplement, it can mess up your body's ability to make melatonin. But if you're eating it in food, the body knows how to process it. So you don't have to worry about, can I take it every day? And you're going to get that sleep that your body needs to fix itself. The other thing it has is quercetin. Quercetin is what we call a zinc ionophore. And a couple weeks ago, I did a call on this. Hydroxychloroquine is a zinc ionophore. That's why it's in the news. Why do we care? Well, because when zinc is inside of the cell, it stops viral replication, but it has to be inside the cell. A zinc ionophore helps the zinc get from outside the cell membrane into the cell, so that is why quercetin is also so helpful. It's also highly anti-inflammatory. And it's also a really great antioxidant. Apothecary, taking a serving of apothecary is the equivalent of eating 7 to 10 pieces of fruit in antioxidant ability. So that's a really big deal. So that's why the apothecary is in there. Why is Can't Beat This in there? So I brought this up so that you could see the ingredients in there. Beetroot opens up your arteries because it helps, it lets a gas go that helps open up your arteries, which means you oxygenate better. So if you are having issues with being sick, the more you can oxygenate, the better. And oxygenation is also going to help keep you from getting sick in the first place. So that is why Can't Beat This is in there. Super meal. Check out the super meal and all the good stuff in it for you. Look at all those vitamins. You can see the zinc at 20%. We just talked about zinc and why that's so important. There's another product in Purium's line that is not in this pack called More Greens. More Greens has the most zinc per serving of any of the products that Purium makes. So another good source of zinc, just so that you have that in your back pocket. The Love also has that fermented rice protein. When you ferment it, it makes it easier for you to digest it. So it's easier to get it into your body. It's got all your veggies. It's got the mushrooms that really help with immune function. It's got, the deep vitamins. And so that's why that's in here. It also has the omega-3s, which are really important to liver function and to inflammation. And then we'll just touch on the Power Shake. Check out the vitamins in the Power Shake, guys. Okay, so what do you need to know about that? Vitamin A, 100%. Vitamin A is absolutely key to cell membrane health. If your cell membranes are healthy, it's a lot harder for a virus to get inside. A virus has to be inside the cell. It doesn't replicate itself. It uses the body to replicate it. And so if it can't get in the cell, then your immune system can take care of it a lot easier. So yay for vitamin A. Also, vitamin E is just one of those things that is really good also for cell membrane health, because cell membranes are made out of fat. And you've got all your B vitamins, iodine. Remember when we were little and people would cuts with iodine? I don't know if I've seen that anymore. But iodine is really good for killing things that are going to hurt your body, and it's a really high source of iodine. So you get a really good idea of how that nutrition is optimized through the Optimal Immune Pack. So I'm going to stop that share. All right, so I just dumped a lot of information on you guys. And I know that I get overwhelming. I call it throwing up my brain on people. So I try not to give you too much, but we really wanted to be able to take the time today to open it up to the field and have you guys get to participate in this call and ask your questions. And so I want to open it up to the field now, and really no question is off limits to us, between the council members, Naiva and myself and Tass. The other three of us are not on the call today. Carmela and Rebecca and Stephanie couldn't be here, but we've got your back. We can cover most of these questions. And we can talk about the products if you want more information. But based on all those headlines I just threw out, and based on the stress that everybody is under, I want to be able to open it up to how do we as activists be able to speak our truth kindly and compassionately and maintain our relationships, because the key as a country for us to get through what we're going through right now is going to be unity. It's going to be being able to have discussions, be empathetic, walk in other people's shoes, listen even when we don't want to, face our cognitive dissonance, etc. So I know I'm taking a risk here by opening up this call because I might get crickets, but I just felt like it was really important that we as a community come together to support each other. And so I don't know, Naiva, Tass, if you want to jump in first. If not, go ahead and we can do this popcorn style. I can't tell, can they unmute themselves today? I think they can. Can you guys unmute yourselves? Then you can just unmute yourselves. If not, raise your hand. If you look under participants, under more, there's a place where you can raise hand. And then I can see and we can unmute you. But who wants to go first? Who has a question or a concern that they need the community to hold the space for?
I would love to go first. Can you hear me?
I can. I'm going to mute myself so I don't interrupt you. Brandon, go for it.
Yeah, my name's Brandon Brashears. I've been with Purium for 2 years as a brand partner now and 3 years using the products. And I really came into this with a friend who had a health challenge and used the biomedic and learned all about this mission. And like, this movement is one of the main reasons why I'm still here because of the reason that glyphosate affects everybody and the children. And I'm in a unique situation. I'm 29 years old. I don't have children, but I have 2 sisters who have 3 kids each. And I live with my mom and she also does Purium with me. So I'm really excited to be tapping deeper into the Million Mom movement. And Jody, I follow you on Facebook and you're one of my favorite people. So I just want to let you know that, like, I love your activism and so grateful for this community. So my question really is hearing my story, like, how could you give me more support for who I am in the Million Mom movement? Because I'm connecting with a lot of moms as well through my sisters and different.
Want me to go, Tess and Naiva? I can see you guys. I'll jump in and then you guys jump in too if you have something you want to add. How do we support you specifically? Well, first of all, thank you for showing up because we really need that masculine energy, right? We need that. Sometimes we need that mama bear fierce energy, but sometimes we need that masculine energy because different people hear things differently. And in order to create a movement of many, we need both sides. We need it so that you're drawing the people to you who need to hear it the way you're going to say it. And so my best advice for you is to go ahead, say it's the Million Mom movement, but mom stands for movement of many. And I am passionate about maintaining the environment and the health for myself, for my family, and for my nieces. And I want to help and I want to give you guys resources. And here's why I joined the movement. And the more authentic you are, the more people are going to listen to you because people are drawn to you by your energy, not necessarily by what you know, but by how you express what you know and how you show up for them and how you listen to them and how you answer their problems. And we all on this call know that Purium has an answer for just about all of those problems out there. So really listening, hearing what their concerns are, and then meeting those concerns. And if you can't, you're getting on these calls, you can ask your questions here, you can go to your uplines, you can get on all the different, Purium has 8 gazillion calls that you can get on, but don't hesitate to reach out to any of us, depending on what the issue is. We all have our areas of expertise, and go to the experts and say, I got this question, I don't know how best to answer it, can you help me? And I don't think there's anybody in Purium, period, who wouldn't say, yeah, how can I help? So tap into the community and be authentically you and explain it from your point of view. Does that help? He gave me a thumbs up. Okay, who's next? Tess. She just.
Can I just add something to that? Okay, Brandon, why don't you invite them to the Fierce Friday calls? This is a great platform for it. Just come on, there's no pressure. Come on and listen. Hear what these wonderful people who we share the same awareness. You know, we didn't know about these awareness until we shared it with each other. Now we know, now we must spread this message. So when they see all of us collectively or together in this, now they feel supported, right? So I think the Fierce Friday calls are a great way. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this call has been fantastic. So thank you so much.
Who's next? Pop on, guys. Don't be shy. I see iPhone Donna. So Donna, if you want to unmute yourself, Zira, I'm sorry, I'm probably
Thank
butchering
you.
your name. If you could please mute yourself.
Are you able to hear me?
I can, and then I'm going to mute myself.
Do I just talk? I'm not
For it.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
I haven't received my products yet. I'm on another program, but I'm waiting for my products to arrive. And I got myself in a car accident on Monday. So I'm experiencing a lot of, I know I suffered a whiplash and stuff. I don't want to go to the hospital because I had a previous accident that I ended up being a guinea pig for a lot of medications and just crap they put into my system, and I don't want to do that again. So, and with everything going on, trying to even get x-rayed is a little bit kooky at this time. So since Monday, I've just been trying to relax and breathe and, you know, feel better. But I don't have my products yet. So it's just like, come on, products. So I'm not sure how to reduce the inflammation while I'm waiting.
Well, there's definitely some things you can do. No doubt about it. First of all, thank you for sharing and being vulnerable with us. I know that's not easy. Okay, inflammation. So pH has something to do with that. So even lemon water is going to help balance your pH, which is going to help bring inflammation down. I'm sure you can get to a drugstore and get some Epsom salt and take some hot Epsom salt baths. The magnesium is going to help relax you, and it's going to help relax all of those muscles. So Epsom salt baths can be super helpful for inflammation. If you have a chiropractor you trust, that would be the first place I would go if I were you.
Yeah, I'm waiting for
an option.
It's a waiting program. Yeah, a waiting process because of everything going on. Yes, that's in the works. Yeah.
My soccer coach husband would say heat, ice, heat, ice, heat, ice, alternate. Rest as much as you can, find the comfort as much as you can, realize that you are, you're bruised. Arnica may help. If you can get homeopathic arnica, that might help. Once your products get in, the cherry juice, a serving of cherry juice is the equivalent anti-inflammatory of taking ibuprofen. So if you need to take a tablespoon of cherry juice every half an hour, I would. I would also consider the joint flex, the super amino, the super xanthan.
I purchased that.
All of those things are going to help. So I can't give you medical advice, but I can tell you these things are known to help in that situation. So that is what I would do. Tass or Naive, anything to add, or anybody else on the call? Is there something that I missed?
I would also add turmeric. Turmeric is great for inflammation. And I love the salt bath. That's great. That will help relax you. That will help detoxify. And, as Jody mentioned, try having high alkaline foods. Greens.
Yeah, like I've been eating bowls of spinach every day and just a bowl of spinach. That's what I want. And I've been doing my bathing, so I am kind of on the track. I think I'm just being impatient about wanting to be back to where I was prior to Monday. I'm pushing it.
Ginger and cayenne as well. Those are also going to help. Cayenne too, if you've got any buildup of lymph from the bruising, that's going to help it drain. And you can do, if you've got lymph buildup from, your immune system reacting to the inflammation, right under your collarbone, like on either side of your collarbone, this spot right here, if you rub it in a circle on either side, that's the lymph drainage point from your neck and head. That might help pull things out of your neck. And if you can know somebody who'll give you a massage, very gentle, be gentle.
Nice.
Right.
Wonderful.
That might be an option too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Feel
Thank
better.
you very much. I will.
Who's next?
I wanted to hop on for a second. I loved all those suggestions. Those are really great. And I just wanted to point out that when you do take turmeric for inflammation or for any reason, turmeric, the curcumin actually isn't activated in the turmeric unless you actually take a little bit of black pepper with it. So I don't know if you guys knew that, but it actually helps to activate the curcumin in the turmeric. So for instance, I make a yummy kind of chai tea where I do ginger and turmeric, and I'll just do a little pinch of black pepper in there, and it's yummy, it's spicy, you mix a little bit of honey in there, and it's delicious. And so I just wanted to throw that in there to add black pepper to the turmeric if that is what you're using to reduce inflammation, and it is amazing. And I also, you can make like a golden milk with it, like Taza is saying, with a little ginger, turmeric, and honey with some, whatever your nut milk of choice is, or coconut milk. But I just want to invite you all as well, because I don't know how many of you all know this, but I have the honor of being the social media coordinator for the Million Mom Movement. So I get to go ahead and help promote you all through our Million Mom Movement pages. And so I just wanted to drop in a little information about that. I think this could also be a great tool for the gentleman that popped on earlier to share with his community, the women in his community. You can follow our pages on Instagram and Facebook. At Million Mom Movement. And then we also have a group on Facebook. It's Million Mom Movement Official. And that's where we post the link to the Fierce Friday within that group. We post throughout the week, different ones of us through the Million Mom Movement will post in there. And I would like to invite each of you, because you are all part of the Million Mom Movement. We are the Million Mom Movement. And so that's a hashtag we've been using. So play with it, post it on your posts, but also I would love to invite you to join into our Million Mom Movement official group and share in there. Share your stories in there, share what you're doing, share your recipes, tips that you have for other moms. If you find an awesome mom hack, please share it in there. I recently had my kids realize that the shaker bottle that we get from Purium is the perfect way to make pancake mix. Like literally you put water, pancake mix, and egg, or whatever you're gonna put in your pancake mix, and the shaker little thing, and you shake it up, you guys. And then you can pour perfect pancakes. The kids can do it. And if you have leftover pancake mix, you just put the whole shaker cup in the fridge and save it for next time. So things like that make all of our life easier. I shared that in the Million Mom Movement official group. So feel free to share your mom hacks in there, and let's make it super fun and interactive. And if you're posting about your own journey around the Million Mom Movement, around recipes, around the issues with glyphosate in our food and the activism around that, if you're sharing about your Purium journey and how the products are helping you and your family and your children, please post those pictures and tag the Million Mom Movement, hashtag Million Mom Movement. That way I can find those. And if you happen to share them in your stories on Instagram, you can always tag us there too. I can reshare it within our stories and ask people to follow you by tagging you as well in your story. And so this is the way that we can all support each other. So I just wanted to hop on and share that as well before we get to the top of the hour. And we still have some time. So if anybody else has questions or things they want to share, please hop on. Passing it along.
Hi guys, I don't know if I can speak now. Hello? Can anybody hear me?
You're up. We can hear you. Go ahead, Naya.
Okay, I don't really have much to add because I'm also waiting on my products, but I'm really excited to try these products. I find that I don't eat enough, so I go up and down in my weight and with everything that's going on. I'm extremely all running around a lot. So I just wanted to say thank you for sharing some more in depth on the products and the ultimate lifestyle transformation kit. I am so I'm impatient, but I'm so eager to try them, and not just try them, just implement it into my life, because I really don't want to be in the kitchen all day. And I just wanted to throw that in there. Thank you for all this great information. Thank you for everything. I'm really thankful. I haven't been consistent because I'm doing a million things, but I'm proud to be a part of this movement.
That's awesome. Thank you, Naya. Is there any, we've got 7 minutes till the top of the hour, so we have time for a couple more shares. If anybody wants to jump in, question, story, mom hack, need some support.
Hey, I had a question about, you had mentioned the apothecary, you know, how it's a food-based melatonin, and a lot of people will say, oh, I take melatonin or whatnot. I know it's different, and a lot of vitamins are synthetic. Where does most melatonin that people are taking, what does that derive from? It's not food-based, or I've heard it's from yams, or do you have any thoughts on that?
You know, I don't actually know. Tass, do you know? I don't know where. I know it's synthetic. You know, I mean, I'm sure they know what the chemical makeup of it is, and they create it in a lab, but I'm not sure where they're pulling it from. What I can tell you is that serotonin is the precursor to melatonin, and 70% of your serotonin is made in your gut. And that's another reason why Biomedic is so good, is because then it helps your gut work efficiently so that you're making enough serotonin, and then that biochemically gets changed into melatonin. And it's actually the sun going down that triggers your body to start making melatonin. And so that's why blue light from screens and TVs is messing people up so much, because blue light is like sunlight and your body doesn't know to start making melatonin. And so at our house, I don't have it near me, or I would show you my geeky orange glasses that we put on at night. But that can be really helpful too. And if you feel really tired first thing in the morning, get up and walk into the sunshine, because the sunshine tells your body to burn off the extra melatonin. If you have too much in your system, it will help you wake up. Nice. I know Rebecca wanted to jump in.
Yeah,
very cool.
Just a couple things I wanted to ask and mention. For Donna, if you can get to a health food store, valerian tincture is also really good to take down the stress levels in your body, as well as reishi mushroom tincture. That's an adaptogen.
Yeah, I have that here.
Yeah,
I actually
good.
already have that here. I'm just
perfect.
Yeah, I have like so many different bottles from the health food store, and I'm just so tired of buying so many different products.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to stick with one. Just too much crap out there.
And then Jody, I was wondering, how many milligrams did you say that the cherry juice was equivalent to? How many milligrams of ibuprofen?
So the comparison I've been given is a serving of the tart cherry is the equivalent anti-inflammatory ability of taking 2 ibuprofen. So what probably 400 milligrams, okay. I'm thinking. I don't know, I haven't taken ibuprofen in 20 years. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But it doesn't work. It's not the same mechanism, but it's the same.
Just the anti-inflammatory process.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to come on and share, I don't have any children, but I absolutely love everything the Million Mom Movement stands for. I've been a brand partner with Purium for 15 months, and I am actually managing chronic reproductive illness. I've had endometriosis for 18 years, and only since I've started using Purium last May have I been able to get my symptoms under control. I was 95 pounds, like depressed, suicidal last spring, and I have gained 15 pounds in the last 15 months, and have just been able to actually like get my life back thanks to Purium. So there's so much good in these products, and like those of you who are waiting on them, like it's gonna change your life.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Woohoo! I love that. Yeah, for all of you out there who haven't tried it yet or are new to this, or maybe you don't have problems, but you know people in your life who do, she's absolutely right. This deep nutrition, it absolutely is the foundation for your body to heal itself. And, you know, I personally have walked that journey with Lyme and Epstein-Barr and cytomegalovirus and HHV6 and babesia. And I have been there. And my doctor said I was the healthiest sick person she ever met. And it was because of what I was eating. So they really are super powerful. We are at the top of the hour. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up because I want to respect all of your time. So I'm just going to quickly wrap up all together. So www.millionmommovement.info is our website. That is where the pledge is. That is where the scholarship application is. We had more applicants last month than we've seen in months. There were over 40. And so we're going through them, we're working through them. And we usually announce that the third week by the 21st of the month. But we put a lot of effort into going through those applications. So just so you know. And our Facebook page is Million Mom Movement. That's our business page. Our group page is Million Mom Movement Official. That's a private group. Really great place for prospecting, to ask questions, things like that. Our Instagram is at Million Mom Movement. And if you tag us in your stories with that and with the hashtag We Are the Million Mom Movement, Naiva gets a notification and then she can reshare on the Million Mom Movement page. And that helps get your message out to a wider audience of people you may not be affecting otherwise. Sign our petition to help get the glyphosate out of Cheerios initially, but we're going to keep growing into other areas with that. If you need help, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And I think that is it for this first September Fish Friday. I appreciate all of you coming. We'd love to invite you back next week. Amy Venner is going to be our special guest. It is her birthday month. It's a couple of our birthday months. She's just a little bit a week ahead of me. And so she's going to be coming on, and we're going to hear from our founder, and you might hear some of the council members singing. I don't know if that will entice you to come or scare you, but it is what it is. So please come back next week. Bring 2 friends. We appreciate your coming. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your activism. Thank you so much. And that's a wrap. Taz, if you want to stop the recording, here, I might be able to.